the rise of Islamophobia. Then and only then we get to point number 5, which is all-out war, assassination, incarceration, rounding up, and death camps. That only happens after all of this has been done. Look at Bosnia and what happened in Bosnia. Look at Nazi Germany. You did not have the Holocaust and the concentration camps until all of these other things had happened. Look at what happened in America in 1940 when they rounded up the Japanese Americans. And the irony of ironies, and this shows you, you have to be not very intelligent to be a racist. You have to be very ignorant to be a racist. Why? Because for 40 years the campaign was done against Chinese Americans here in this land. For 40 years, no exaggeration, from 1890 to around 1930, 1935. 40 years. Then World War II happens. It wasn't with China. It was, Japan was on the other side. But Japan, China, what's the difference to the people over here? They all look the same. Right? So they lumped them together. They extrapolated their prejudices for the Chinese Americans and they put them on to another group of people, the Japanese, who had nothing to do with the previous 30, 40 years. But this is what happens when you're a racist. All Muslims look the same. All Arabs. After 9/11, Sikhs were killed. After 9/11, Hindus were pushed in front of trains because they thought these were Muslims, right? A Sikh temple was attacked in Oregon because they thought it was a Muslim temple. This is the reality of what happens here. So what happens, as we said, point number 5, is that you actually get violence or war or bloodshed or incarceration camps, and it only happens after all of this. Same with the Prophet ﷺ, the night of the Hijrah. Why did he make Hijrah? The Arabs, the Quraysh, did the one thing that was unthinkable for them, and that is to innocently kill one of their own. This was unprecedented. The tribe never buckled on itself. The tribe never killed one of its own. This was the first time that they unilaterally decided, we are going to assassinate one of our own. That can only happen after all of these steps are followed. It doesn't just come out of thin air. The bottom line, my dear brothers and sisters, not to intimidate, not to frighten, but to be real. We are living at times that are genuinely perilous. We cannot afford to shove our heads in the sand, ignore what is going on. I tell you honestly, the potential for our situation to get from bad to worse is very possible, and Allah is our protector. But Allah Azza wa Jal wants us to do things, not just to sit back and ignore. Allah Azza wa Jal wants us to take reasonable measures of protection.